All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakabadash Brakatham. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a salute and a shalom to all the Akim that are out to every pushing this truth in all sincerity and in truth. The title of this lesson is the same way King David trusted in that small rock from the brook. Hold on, it may be, it's going to be titled "The Way King David Trusted in that Small Rock from the Brook." It's the same way we trust in our rock, Yahawashi. So, that's 2 Samuel. Is it? No, hold on. Well, 1 Samuel. Hold on. Okay, Goliath's challenge. But let's get the NLT too. All right. It says, this is 1 Samuel 17 and 20. It says, "And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper and took and went as Jesse had commanded him, and he came to the trench as the host was going forth to fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his it says, and David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, a Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. Now, what does Goliath mean? I ain't never looked the name up. Okay, Goliath is Goliath. Splendor. Goliath. Yep, Goliath. It say, and all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, they fled. It says, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that has come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. And David spake to the man, and it says, and David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living power? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so it shall be done to the man that killeth him. Right? But let's go down. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him, that thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth. All right, so David was a young man. It says, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock, and I went after him. And it says, and I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. When he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defied the armies of the living power. David said, moreover, Yahweh that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and Yahweh be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off. And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in the shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David. And the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about David, it says when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, I am a dog, that thou comest to me with staves. And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of Yahweh. Right? And David said, but I come to thee in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou has defied. This day will this day will Yahweh deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the field, and says to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel. Right? Says verse 48, and it came to pass, when the Philistine arose and came near, it says, and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the Philistine, to meet, he says, and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and sling it and smote it. It says, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with the sling and with the stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. All right, man. So the same way David trusted in that rock, trusted in that small rock from the brook, man. It's the same way we trust in our rock, Yahawashi. Hold on. See, what's that? Stone of stumbling and rock of offense. This is 1 Peter 2:8. It says, a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. All right, man. So we trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, man. All right, man. We trust in the rock. Yahawashi is that rock. All right, man. Because yeah, all right, man. All right, man. Because Yahweh fought for David, man. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, he fought for David, man. Jake, and who's going to fight for us, man? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi will, man. Say what? He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken in my arms. Let's see. It says, this is Psalms 18:29. It says, for by thee have I run through a troop, and by my power I have leaped over a wall. As for Yahweh, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is the power save Yahweh? Or who is a rock save our power? It is Yahweh that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken in mine arms. It says, he trains my hands for battle. He strengthens my arm to draw a bronze bow. All right, man. So the same way King David trusted in that small rock from the brook, it's the same way we trust in our rock, Yahawashi. See? All right, man. So with that, I say shalom.